Welcome to SUP, the Scope Unmuzzled podcast, episode 13. The lucky number for most people, not really. So this time around, we have two new guests, one from Portugal and one from the UK. So thank God my sleep cycle is not fucked up because these people actually are able to join in the afternoon. Thank God for that. And this time around, we'll just have a little introduction of the guests, and then we'll discuss some of the random topics that I've written down. So without any further ado, let's get into the podcast and start this train wreck of a show. Welcome to the podcast. So today, as I said, we have two new people on our show. So the first is Archknight, or we call him just Arch, who is the person on the right. And then we have Jondesu, or we just call him John, on the left here. And, well, as always, we'll start with a short introduction of our guests, although I'm not sure how short it will be, but we'll see. So first, we're going to start with the person that's probably least prepared for this. I'd say Arch. So, Arch, take it away. Can you introduce a bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, how old you are, where you live, all these kind of things?
All right. Wow. Technically, I'm called 12th Archknight, but everyone who knows me just calls me Arch. I'm 30 years old, and I live in the UK, though I'm not from the UK. I play a lot of games, ranging from RPG games to strategy games to just the general arcade games, but not very good at some of them. I've got close to 4,000 hours on VR chat, and I've known Scope for a number of years now. And John here for a few years as well. Yeah.
Wait,
that's
so
me.
Who did you actually know first? Did you know me first or John?
I knew you first. I knew you first.
Yeah, because I know you through John, actually. And John probably knows me through you as well.
No way. I'm quite sure I met you before.
Yeah, no, yes, I agree with that. I'm saying that I knew John through you. So, and then John knows me through you. So, well, that's also another topic to go on later.
I met him in a public lobby. I didn't even...
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, when he I think he only had a week in VR chat or something at the time.
Oh, no, I had 5 hours.
Yeah.
5 hours.
Right. Yeah, so he was one of the first few people he met. And he was using a Final Fantasy 14 avatar at the time, and it didn't take him too long before he got VR, but I think he can explain that more himself, so I'm not going to go into details.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so John, why don't you then talk a bit about yourself?
The nickname is Jondesu, but I'd rather people call me John. There's a reason for the nickname, though. But yeah, I'm also a gamer. I'm also a boomer like you, even older, though. I'm 34. But I do have a normal life, I work and I do everything, but I do on my hobbies. I usually play a single game. I'm an RPG, Final Fantasy 14. That's usually what I play nowadays. And mainly I go to VR, have a good time, chill, and sleep. Most of the time I like to sleep. And
too much.
Yeah, much.
All right. Well, that's good to know. Well, the next thing on the list is actually how we met, but I guess we already kind of discussed it. You met John through public. Wait, Arch, I know this. I'm not sure you know this.
Yes.
Do you know where you met me the first time?
I don't, actually. I don't recall where I met you.
Okay. So I do remember. It was in the sleep world of sleep, the blue one, all the blue lights. It was upstairs. You were using the MP5 character from Archknights, I think. And I was using a baby version of that.
Yeah.
And then I was
look,
I didn't know that.
Then I still have that avatar that you're talking about.
Okay. Nice. No, so I had a baby version of that.
It was an upload.
I had a small MP5.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, look, same gun. It's same person. And then, we started talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I recall.
Now you remember.
Damn.
That was like really far in, or in the beginning though. Like that was before I even established like an avatar, when it was like a user or even like a new user. That's crazy long ago, man. You were like one of the first few friends that I made in the game. So
Guys, it was only like 4 or 5 years ago. It's not like an eternity, okay?
it's not. It's not. No. I think it's like 2019, 2020, early 2020, I would say. So it's not that long.
So it was pre-COVID, right?
Pre-COVID?
Pre-COVID.
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 Sorry, not pre-COVID.
Yes, I believe so, yeah. I believe it was pre-COVID. Yeah, because we didn't talk about COVID back then.
Because if it was early 2020, that means that COVID was started being a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely at least mid to late 2019 that I met him.
Then COVID wasn't a thing yet.
I imagine.
No, so I got into VR in December 2019. That's when I got my first headset. So shortly afterwards, like after Christmas or something, I think.
Okay, so it would have been like very
early 2020. So Christmas 2019, right. John.
Yeah, but which Oculus did you get? The very first one?
No, so I got the Samsung Odyssey Plus headset back then. Oh, it was Black Friday. I remember. It was Black Friday. That's why I got it. It was like $200 or $300 for like the set with the controllers. And I was like, might as well spend money on this because, it looks cool. VR seems to be taking off a bit. It's very cheap. So even if I put it in the drawer later to just collect dust, I will just have spent not too much money on it. So it wouldn't feel too bad. That's why I got it. And I actually got it shipped from...
It's still money, though.
The US. Yeah.
What do you mean, just the fun?
I'm sure he makes a decent much
in comparison
amount of money.
In comparison to a lot of other VR headsets.
All the advertisement money.
I don't make any advertisement money. I don't think I ever will.
It's fine.
We'll see. To
be fair, I don't think you will due to the content, but
I just need to invite interested guests, and there you go. Problem solved.
Well, I've actually been thinking about inviting. So I know some DJ in VR chat. I talked about it also in the last episode. I could invite him, and then there's like another DJ that does a lot of stuff on Twitch. Maybe if I could get both people on the same podcast, I don't know if they would actually be willing to. If I could get them on the same podcast, they could talk about the whole scene of like the clubbing and like DJing and what it's like, and if they've done it in real life and what their goals are, those kind of things. It's more like a documentary kind of thing. That would be interesting, but I'm very low profile. I don't really care. I would just like to get new people on each episode. That would be nice. Although, of course, just talking with my friends from time to time. Even if it's recurring guests, it seems to be a lot of fun, at least for me.
That's fine, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm not going to invite like celebrities fucking day one on a podcast, That's not going to happen.
I can't believe you're not going to invite like XQC and try to understand what he's saying like in the very first 5 minutes.
I have no idea.
Yeah. I'm going to have to slow down the podcast by like 50%.
That just sounded like a bunch of letters to me.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Now, so I would actually like to know this about you guys also to each other, which is, why did you choose to be each other's friend and also my friend? Do you have an answer?
Yeah, why are you my friend, Arch? What the hell?
Yeah.
What is this?
Why is a very strange question to ask, since I don't know. It just feels like having a why makes it sound like you want something from the other person. So
do you?
I don't know.
Do you want to have something from the person?
I just feel like asking why are you friends is a little weird. We just became friends. It's about that's about
John,
as much as I can say.
What do you want from me? What do you want from me? Tell me the truth.
Wait, John, weren't you mute before you met Arch? Maybe they
never.
Have.
I was never mute.
Okay.
Ever, I was never mute.
Okay, so that cannot.
The only part that I'm mute, it's because I cannot make noise during the evening because I'm on like a shared house or something, and I cannot make some kind of noise. That's the only time that I'm mute, and that's horrible for me because I don't like to type in VR. I despise typing in VR because it's annoying. I don't like the keyboard. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I just don't like
very
it.
difficult.
Yeah, it's not
That's annoying.
great. It's not great. But, it's better than nothing. At least there's something,
Sure. I mean, if I would have to choose, and if I was a mute, I'll probably do a text-to-speech detector thing that if I talk to it, not text-to-speech, but the thing that I talk to the thing and that it
Speech
just
to text.
types it down. Speech to text. That's the other one. Yeah, I was saying that. But yeah, to answering your question,
Yeah, that exists. Speech to text.
Yeah, you can
Yes.
do it anyway. Back and forth, doesn't matter.
To answering your question, Scope, I mean,
Mhm.
friendship is just usually it should be natural. We just hang out, and all of a sudden we're just, friends, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't have like a purpose or objective to that. If you
No.
like to hang out with that person and you enjoy the company, it's how it is. That's our friendship.
Yeah, though we've had to tell you that.
Yeah. Also, talking about that, how I met this goober over here. So
Goober.
basically,
Goofy goober.
this was, I can actually talk about my introduction. So basically, how did I get into VR? I was with some friends, like on Discord, and this was like COVID time at the beginning, so pretty much everyone was locked up. And since we were boring as fuck, we did we went to VR chat since it was like a new thing, and the meme Uganda Knuckles was
Yeah.
before. Then it wasn't anymore. But we went to VR, yeah, and then we start hanging out, see what's the public and stuff like that. And I got interest, because like it's people socializing. I was locked at home, and I'm like, okay, I might as well just hang out with more people and see what's up. And then I got curiosity with VR, and I went to a random world. It was the Pug World. I remember the public.
I believe it was the
Great Bug.
It was.
I don't think it was the
I
Pug
remember
World.
very well.
Was it? Oh,
Yes, it was a Pug. You were on the mirror, like on the corner, thing at next. to the bar.
yes. Like I
Classic.
usually.
And then yes. And then I saw you, and I'm like, how is it like having VR and stuff like that? And you explained to me, and I'm like, okay, I'm sold. I'm probably gonna buy VR. I'll let you know later. And then I added him, and I'm like, oh, next week I have VR. Hey, hello. And then
Wait.
and then after that,
Hold on. You fucking talk shit about me buying a VR headset. It was like $300. You're like, oh, how's the VR? Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, I should buy it. I'm going to buy it right now. So,
I mean, no, it wasn't like, oh, it's pretty good. I did explain like in depth, like the differences between like desktop and VR, and just how different the experience is between the two. And it was enough to.
do you want this podcast to be like a whole afternoon or something, like 5 hours or what?
I keep an eye on the time,
The specifics are just okay.
We can go off the rails. It's fine.
Right, fair. So basically, afterwards, I got into VR. I was very curious about it beforehand about VR, because I really want to know. I never experienced. I wanted to see, but I was really, really afraid of buying the headset because it was so expensive. And I wanted to try beforehand, but the problem is, like, because of COVID, there wasn't like anything that you could just get your hands on to try it out. So I just thought, well, F it, just get the headset, and I lose one time and I learn my lesson, I guess. And then when I put it, I'm like, whoa,
Technology.
what the hell, man? I'm like, and the worst part, this is where it begins, yeah?
Oh boy.
I go into VR alone for the first time on VR chat. Alone. I just grabbed like an avatar, whatever. I don't even remember what avatar I was on. And I went to a public. I remember very well the public though. It was like at the beach with the pool or something during the summer set. And then there was like a bunch of people going around. I'm like, whoa! I saw a giant and stuff like that. I'm like, whoa! I was like completely baffled. And I remember that one person said, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this is my first time having VR, and like this is overwhelming for me." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, let's try one thing." He literally,
I remember this.
Does like this on his back and brings a freaking huge hammer, yeah, like a huge freaking hammer, and he goes like this. Wait, let me get up. It goes like. I literally fell on the floor. Literally, I fell on the floor. because I thought I was dead at the time. My brain like, oh, you're fucking dead, bro. You just, splat. And then I opened my eyes and I realized, okay, I'm okay. But I don't know why. I'm not sure if that's the reason that it triggers me, but
I'm sure that is.
Probably that's the reason that I have fun.
Wait,
That's
did you like fall on your head while that happened? That might have like triggered something.
I fell on my butt. Literally, like it was like splashing, and I'm like falling down. Like I don't know. But my headset was very tight, so it didn't go. It didn't go off. I was afraid that the headset was broken or something, but no, it was okay.
Yeah, that would really suck if you
and
first
it's still
time in
the same
VR.
headset to today.
You go on. I was like, this is my first time. It's like bonk. You fall on your ass. You break your headset. I was like, well, no longer your first day. First and last day in VR.
That's internet for you. Wherever you go, even if you are internet, it will be internet. People will troll. No matter what.
True.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's actually a good segue into the next thing, which is the things that you are known about as like a person. So in your friend group, there's probably something that you join an instance like, oh, is this guy? It's like someone's going to give like a short phrase or sentence of like how to describe this person. What would be for you guys? For John, I know the weird thing that you are known for. Arch, do you have a specific thing that you are known for in your community or?
Wow, what the?
Wow, what do you have?
Yes, I wonder indeed. Well, I'm sure you've probably heard it. John has heard it from freaking Scott and Candy. It's on. It's a freaking role I have on my Discord server. It's mute magnet, pretty much.
Oh, that's a good word for it.
Because I seem to freaking attract mute people a lot.
So you can say that you're a MM, I guess.
Eminem.
There you go. It's easy.
No, I'm not an.
Well, you just said it.
Damn.
So.
You're a mute connoisseur.
Yeah, but that's not what
MM.
Yeah, but that's not what MM means.
Really? What does it mean then? I'm actually curious. Oh, no, actually, don't answer. Don't answer.
Okay, good. Just so you know, there's an anime that's titled that.
Oh, I see. Hopefully, it's not a hentai, yeah? Okay. Anyway.
It's not. The main character is just a massive masochist.
Oh, is it wrong though? Then it would be M then. I'm kidding.
Well, could you explain a bit more what that means, Arch? Because some people, if someone shows this to their mothers, like, look, Mom, I'm on the podcast. It's like, well, I don't know what the fuck that means. You're a mute magnet.
I mean, I personally feel it's a bit self-explanatory, really, because it just means that, well, in the context of VR chat anyway, I tend to interact with or somehow befriend a lot of mute people. Like sometimes I don't, they could just be sitting there. I don't even know if they're mute or not. I start headpatting them and they turn out to be mute.
Wait, Arch. For the not for the mothers, but for the grandmothers, when do you talk about mute, that doesn't mean that they're actually.
Yes, I should specify that there's two that they're not actually mute. They just decided not to talk.
They're selective mute.
They're selective mute. So there are one person that I can definitely say they are mute. So there is that.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Is that also how you got to be friends with John? Like, did you start headpatting John while in desktop?
I think we were just talking.
Yeah, just hanging out.
Yeah.
Wait, so you don't headpat people that are not mute? Are you discriminatory against?
I do.
Okay.
Discriminatory.
Okay, he opened his mouth.
I do, or at least I did, but I don't headpat people much these days. Then again, I'm also not on very much these days. So there's that too.
Yeah, that doesn't really help. Well, actually, the headpatting goes into the thing John, that you might be known for? You might want to explain to the audience, because it is a weird phenomenon that I don't think we still have quite an answer to, like how this happens, but it's a thing.
There's no answer.
There's a thing. So what is it?
Okay, so basically, explaining from the beginning, since I know this person, I've I understood that
that person has a name.
Yes, I know this beautiful MM over here.
What? I'm not an M.
So okay. Anyways, so basically, what happened is, I realized that, like, because of the bong, I was afraid of, like, feeling stuff that stabbing me or poking me. So I asked Arch and his friend at that time to do some experiments. Basically touching here on the arm, checking if I had phantom sense or whatsoever. And it checked out that I had it pretty much on the whole body at that time. I remember. And the thing is, then one of the things that they did was, like, headbanging, and it really felt nice for me. I don't know what to ask, how to say. I mean, but it was such a, like, a nice feeling that I got quickly addicted to it, to the point that I asked. I didn't ask, but most of the time it happens. People headpatting me, and I just enjoy it, and I did that cute face also. It helped because I was using a cute avatar at the time, and then it went from there. You know, the thing is, what we didn't realize is one time that they were headpatting me, when they were going through my face, the sensation was so high for me that I was, like, in a trance. I'm not sure how to explain my feeling, but basically I just feel like in a trance, and all of a sudden I wake up. But people on the other on their point of view, they headpat me. I start responding whatsoever. I don't say anything, and all of a sudden I just pass out. Basically, I just collapse.
Mm-hmm.
And this was, like, a real issue, to the point that one time I was like being afraid of, like, just standing up on VR, because one time someone headpat me while I was standing, and I fell on the floor. I woke up, like, on the floor. Basically.
Wait, that happened? Did you actually get hurt?
That happened, yeah. That happened once, but I didn't. Once, like, I know that I'm going through a role that people might headpat me, I instantly just sit down on my bed or in a place comfortable that I know that if I fall, it's fine, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's still horrible, because if sometimes I fell on the bed and I woke up with my neck like this or like this, and I'm like, why my neck hurts, you know? And it was way worse before, because it was literally, like, what, 15 to 40 minutes of sleep or something.
Something like that.
Sometimes it went, like, hours. It depends on how tired I am. So, but nowadays it's a different topic.
Wait, so are you over that sensation, or it just doesn't happen that often, or your trance period that you're hypnotized and fall asleep is less? Or how would you describe that now compared to back then?
Right now, I would say that I get headpats on the face, like, a few times, because people know that I have that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes more time for me to
like higher
minutes,
tolerance.
I would say, for me to pass out. But I still do pass out. It depends now on my tiredness, I guess, on how immersive I guess I'm on it. I don't know, like, it depends. Like, if I'm thinking about other things and things going through my head at the time while people are going like this, I think I'll be fine. But if I start looking at that hand and focus on it, it's over. Pretty much over.
But it's not something you can do to yourself, right? Because you kept doing that right now.
No.
You have to have someone else do it.
It has to be someone else do it. I didn't try one thing though. I didn't try with I don't know, an automated NPC or something doing the same gesture to see if I actually pass out with that.
Oh, I think I know a world for that. we could try that later.
Yeah, I hope it's not one of those rules. I hope with automated stuff. Yeah.
No, it's pretty wholesome. It's like an NPC that sits on a couch and headpat. So I guess you could, if you have that,
I'm in the same world.
I think it's the same. Yeah. If you have that, you could technically just put yourself to trance or put yourself to sleep. without having to ask.
I don't know.
anyone.
I like to have knowing that I have a human being next to me doing that. It's just part of immersion, I guess. But I don't know. I have to test it if it actually works.
Yeah, I actually had there was a moment where you told me this, I think for the first time, or I saw it happen, and I was that's fucking weird. So I changed into an avatar, and I told you, it's like,
Oh,
okay,
I'm sorry.
John, I'm gonna tell you or I'm gonna ask you a question, or you're gonna tell me a little story about how your day went, and then you're gonna have to answer me, and I'm gonna start head patting you, and we're gonna see how long it takes for you to fall asleep. And I literally asked you, it's like, okay, John, so how did your day went? How did it go? And then, and like we counted it. It was like 4 seconds. 4 seconds it took you to fall asleep, and you would still mumble. That's also a weird thing. You sometimes mumble during your trance, where you try to react, or oh no, you said like hello. You tried to say hello when you're in the trance. And you even asked us, like, did you hear me say hello when I was in the trance? Like, yes. We heard some muffling, which we then later interpret as like, oh, wait, it's you trying to say hello. So there is still some consciousness in that state, but it's definitely, it's very interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a thing between like sleep paralysis or something, because I'm a bit conscious still, but my body just stops running pretty much. Like, for example, on that moment that you said with talking about my day, I remember that you said to me that, oh, you just pass out like after the first four words of what I was gonna do. But for me, I remember that I was still talking about like during the lunchtime or something. Like I was already in the middle of the explanation, but it seems that then all of a sudden just everything cut off, and I just realized, oh, okay, I'm dead. But it seems that nothing like that actually went through. So it was interesting, I guess.
No, it's interesting because, yeah, I think it's not like sleep paralysis actually, because if it was sleep paralysis, you'd be having like nightmares. Someone could bring you in a nightmare state, which they'll probably get abused even more.
Oh god!
But in this case, it is you are relaxed in that state, right? It's not like you're having any distress or something. Like sometimes you even ask people to do it just so you can like sleep or like relax in that moment.
Yeah. It's a double-edged sword on that, because I like to have it, but at the same time I don't like it because I want to hang out and chill with people. Like the problem is that people tend to just do it in the beginning, and I'm like, okay, first just go with my hair, that's it, and then we can talk and stuff like that, and blah blah blah. And then, like at the end, you can go for face, yeah. But usually there were people, and you know who they are. So, by the way, that just wanted to instantly just freaking pick on a knife and just stab my throat with a hand with a headpat on the face and just kill me already.
Yeah, it was so
and
bad.
That's annoying. I mean, it feels nice, but I all of a sudden, I just woke up. What happened? And I missed everything.
Missed everything, yeah. Like it was so bad to the point that every time I joined him, like the majority of the time, he'd be knocked out. Yeah. So it's like it's like it's like I go online, join him, and then it's like, is he dead? Like, and everyone's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's like, who did it this time, guys? Come on. Will you just be known, John, for you get on and you just fall asleep. And then it's like, oh, John is online. Let's join on him. It's like, nope, I cannot. And then he just like wakes up. He's like, oh, fuck, it's already this late? Okay, I have to go. And it's like, bro, I didn't even get to talk to you. What the fuck?
It's because I go to VR on the times that I should go sleep, because of work, and I'm tired of work or whatever. And then I'm just like, oh, I need to fall asleep. And someone headpats me, and then I just go. Like once I wake up, because I have to wake up early on next day. It's annoying. I know. That's why I don't usually ask people to do it. Nowadays, even so, like
I hope not.
It doesn't happen anymore.
I don't feel you're asking anyone
sometimes.
Like as of like 1 or 2 years.
But I try to avoid. That's the difference, Before I was like, no,
just let it happen.
But then nowadays it's more, because I need some time. Like time is precious for me. It sucks, but yeah.
Well, that's the thing about being an adult, right? You only have so much time to actually do stuff. Yep, I think we all know about that.
Yeah.
On to the other topic, if John actually gets in position, is your guys' names. So with Jondesu and 12th Archknight. Well, Arch, can you explain how you got your nickname?
My nickname is just, there's not like some, huge
Grand
reason.
lore.
It's nothing more than an evolution from previous like usernames. And that's pretty much it. It's just an evolution from other usernames I've had. For example, when I've created an account for other like websites, I may have used like Arch 1002 or something like that. Because it's like this number's already taken, so you add a whole bunch more, or just random numbers and shit. And I think the closest I had to this name, to 12th Archknight, was when I was, I don't know, 14 years old, I think. I was in a online relationship, very young. I personally took it very serious. And it's probably the first time you're hearing this.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm hearing it. I'm actually serious now. Hello? Okay, sure.
But yeah, I was like 14 years old. I was in a online relationship. I met this person on the website. We got along really well. And then one day, they basically broke up with me. And obviously they didn't care too much because it was an online relationship, so they weren't, too into it. In my case, I was very serious about it. And, I was very, very upset at the time, as you would probably think so. And I changed, this was MySpace days.
Yeah. Oh, so that was the website.
So those were the times that you were listening to Evanescence or something kind of music for you to...
Yes, actually. You're making that as a joke, but yes, I did. And I did what any cringy freaking teen would do when they're upset after breaking up with somebody. They post the lyrics of a song.
Oh, I fucking... I still see that nowadays. People do it. It's so funny. Oh my god, I don't get it. I've never done that shit. Man.
And then after that, after that, being super upset, I found a website where you could watch anime from, and I signed up to it, and I ended up this. Oh god, this freaking name. I ended up putting the name as Disregarded Knight.
Oh
my fucking god. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yep.
My heart. Forceful.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I was.
I thought the reason behind your nickname was like
no.
Assassinate the other 11 knights before you and became the 12th. I don't know.
Oh no, that was like the fucking history I created in VR chat.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's something I came up with in VR chat. Like when people asked the name, there was no actual history.
Wait, so it takes people freaking podcast for you to tell me the truth behind the reason of the freaking nickname? Are you kidding me?
Hell yeah.
I mean, there is no real reason. Like I said, it's just an evolution of other usernames. The whole it being the 12th one is because at one point I just started having my username as like Archknight 12 on certain things. That's it. And then eventually, of course, VR chat, I had it as 12th Archknight.
I see.
And then eventually people started asking me questions like, hey, where are the other 11? And then I made like a story like, oh, they're just out in battle and I'm here like on holiday or some shit like that.
That's a long ass holiday. Where the fuck do I sign up for that?
But yeah, that's both how my nickname came about and the whole quote unquote story that I sometimes tell people when they ask me the question, where's the other 11?
Mm-hmm.
Except for that time, Candy changed his name to. He ended up making a new account. You know his account, Mood.
No.
Okay.
Or if
well, he
I
made
do,
an
I don't
account. Okay. Well, he made another account. He eventually changed the name to Mood, but at first he called that account Archknight 13th.
Oh.
So someone wants to kill you. You should be careful.
Yeah. Your time to go into battle.
Yeah, there was a lot of jokes at that time about the freaking name, and but yeah, he eventually changed that account name to Mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, technically, Arch, you could maybe if you have like a tradition, let's say like every year or every couple months, you could increase. I think it's 6 months, right? You can change your nickname in VRChat every 6 months. You could up your number each 6 months to make it like 13, 14. That would actually be pretty funny if you do that, if you keep up that joke.
That's that is actually a decent idea, but I don't know if I could be asked, honestly.
Oh man,
I don't know. Maybe it'd be better
minutes.
to actually, I don't know, like decrease it and then increase it. You know, it's like
what
going
if you're
up
like
in
negative
rank and then going down in rank.
Oh, well, you could have like what's above a knight. You could have like a king, arch king, or something.
I mean, technically,
up or down into ranks.
I would think an arch knight is probably like, you know, a holy knight. So that's already like high tier as is.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
It could be a good idea. Well, up to you, really. All right. So that's something that I also did not know about. I know your like the battle story of that. Like I know the fake story. I don't know the real story, but I guess now you told it to everyone. And John is also informed.
You know the real
if
story.
I want to ask you about your real stories, I need to be on a podcast.
I mean, you never asked.
What do you? I asked it before. You just said it. Oh, I killed the freaking 11 knights before. That's why I became 12. That's what the
Did I?
when I met you. Why do you have 12? What's the reason?
Oh wow!
Did I?
You think I'm gonna ask it again? I'm gonna believe you. Well, technically, I don't know anymore, right? I just need a podcast of freaking Dr. Scope over here to actually ask this real questions. He has like some kind of I don't know lying device or something to detect you. So that's
people
why
tell me the truth, you know.
I don't know.
Sometimes you just have to be straight up with people, John.
Okay,
and I guess sometimes asking actually the same question, maybe another time, to verify their story, that is actually a good way to check. So maybe advice for you as well.
Bothering the person because I'm asking the same question again, even though they answer me already. But I guess
you could say like you forgot,
in case
you know.
If I see that they're like tipsy or being sarcastic, I guess.
Okay, so well, John, you actually also have your own name, which probably also has some backstory because it's not just John, like a person's name, but it's Jondesu. So could you explain to the audience where you got your username from?
So my nickname is not long ago. I used to have different nicknames and they were very cringy. Okay, I'm not sure if I want to say it.
That's fine.
I need to be very truthful.
I've heard pretty bad ones before, actually.
Oh god. Okay, sure. I'll let you know one of the nicknames. Okay,
cool.
One of the nicknames. Because when I was younger, when I was like on the high school, at those times, Counter-Strike was a big thing. It's still a big thing, but Counter-Strike was like on LAN parties. You had those times that were like LAN parties everywhere, and I used to hang out with my friends over there at the time, and I had to make a nickname at that time, and I nicknamed the name called Dragon Breath 69. Okay. So let's just think it in a bit. Okay.
Nice.
So, and after that, we kept playing and stuff. I had another nickname afterwards. But then, like after university, since I was into Japan, I kind of wanted at that time like kind of reset my life. I wanted to find a new like identity for myself in a
Like
way, you know,
online
like
identity.
new nickname, new me, you know. So, and I wanted to be simplistic. I want to be about myself. And since I was into Japan at that time a lot, so well, why not just saying I am John in Japanese? And that's why it's Jondesu. That's what it means,
Oh, okay.
basically. That's the reason. But then afterwards, like Japan was not the big thing for me anymore, and then I didn't want to be bothered to change my nickname again, so I just wanted to call me John, and that's it. Even though like I'm fine with Jondesu, even though there's like some memes here and there that why you keep calling me Jondesu even if I told you not to.
Well, it's right there.
I don't know
man.
why you're looking at me when you said that.
Yeah, I'm looking at you because of our friends, and you know who I'm referring to. But
Jasmine, huh?
Throwing
yes,
them under the
Jasmine.
bus.
But the thing is, I don't know. I just like the nickname and just stick with it pretty much, and that's the reason.
Well, I think also because there's a minimum amount of characters you can use for a nickname, and before it actually was 3, and then they changed it to I think it's like 4 or 5 now. So even if you would want to go back to John, just Jon, I don't think you can.
But I could be unique, you know. I could be the only John, one of the few with 3 characters still. God damn it!
Yeah, if you did it back in the day, you could have. Yeah, there's some friends I have that have 3-letter nicknames because they did it back when that was still a thing.
Because there's no way in hell they're gonna be bothered with like updating their database for the nicknames.
I mean, what you could do is add like some special characters.
Yeah.
Like, you know how Shiro has on Discord. Like she has a Heart Shiro Heart. You could have something like that. This way you could still have like 5 characters, right?
Yeah. If you think Dragon Bread 69 was cringe, imagine having XX John XX or something.
With the 69 at the end, man. You got to keep it authentic.
Yeah, you got to give it the 69 in there.
I'd rather just jump myself off a building or something. I don't know.
Oh, God.
No, there's actually a lot of people on VR chat that do that, where they add special characters to the name, just so they appear like at the top, for example, at their friends list, because just sorted alphabetically. So if you have a character that goes before the A,
I know that.
then you'll get at the top.
Yeah.
I know,
like me.
Too many people that do that.
Yeah.
I'm always at the top because of the one.
Well,
I know
anymore.
people that do that. I know that.
Like I said, there's a lot of people with these weird characters in front, so they would go even before you, Arch. So you're not that special anymore.
Right.
They just put a dot on it, pretty much. Usually, what's happened? Put a dot in there first because of that.
Yeah,
I mean, if I look at my freaking friends list, I literally see someone with a heart.
Nice. Yeah, exactly.
Heart?
2 hearts, in fact. Yes, they have a heart. 2 hearts on their freaking username.
I'm pretty sure
at
they
the
go
beginning and one at the
wild
end.
to the point to see what's the first character of the special character that can be first.
Yep.
It's going to be a competition between characters. Oh, the dot is in front of hearts, therefore everyone's going to put the dot for, or something like that. I don't know.
Do I have people with the dot?
People are crazy when they try to seek attention. It's insanity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that always happens.
It can be pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking about crazy things, one thing that, well, especially people that are seeking attention might not really have is actual goals to work towards. So with that, I would actually like to introduce the next topic, which is personal goals that you are working towards. And this can be long-term, short-term, whatever you want. And this time I'm going to start not with you, Arch. Already did that too many times. John, do you have any personal goals?
For me, it'd be like very quick.
Well, now John has to think.
I mean, you have to specify what kind of goals are you talking about. Personal goals, professional goals?
Personal goals. Can be professional. So any goals, really. Any goals that you have can be professional, can be personal, can be career. Whatever you come up with. Is this not something you work towards, like over the long term? Some things you want to do, something you want to achieve at a certain moment in your life?
There's a goal that's a long term that is actually becoming a short term good thing, like getting very close.
Okay.
You know that we live on a period of time that usually like the house, the real estate are very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
When it
Yes.
comes to
Yeah.
when it costs the amount of cost of a house, it's really expensive. And I had some goals before that I managed to achieve. Like I got my car, I got my job thing that I wanted to do, but right now I wanted a house that I was having because I do live like my company is next. Like in order for me to how do I put it? First, when I joined the company that I'm in, that was pre-COVID, so basically I had to go there every day. Nowadays it's only 2 days a week, but I still have to go there. And because of it, I need to I didn't have money to buy a house at the time or rent a house because I could rent a house, but it's so expensive, it's insanity. Because the place of the company is very expensive. So thing is, I'm just got a share house and I rent a room, and because my focus at the time is just progress and getting better at my job basically. So and I kept doing it, and I got way too into the work. And it's been like what 4 or 5 years now, and now I'm at the point that I'm able to actually go for a house. So right now I'm on the process of buying a house. Hopefully this year, I'm hoping, but something like around like in 3 months or so, or 2 months. I want to have my own home for multiple reasons, but mainly because I want my freedom, I want my privacy, I want my independency, like complete, just finish. I can do whatever I want. I can invite whatever friend I have without answering questions or whatever, or asking people.
Have you
or
actually
whatever.
lived alone before in your life, John? Or have you always been in like a shared thing?
No. I did because before I joined this company, I used to work on another company far away, like on the southern side of Portugal. And at that time, I could rent a room, and a house. That's why I rented a house at the time. But then some stuff got difficult with work. I had to find a new job, and that's where I have to give the house away.
Okay.
Went to that place.
Yeah, so for me,
there were a lot of things that I'd rather not talk about.
Yeah, that's fine. So for me, I have been looking at houses as well, because I've kind of reached that point where I should now be at a moment in my life where I could look at houses. Although, yeah, I just don't think it's worth it at the moment, where the amount of money that you pay for a house is just so much for what they're like actually worth or should be worth now. I think like things like the mortgage rates going up and all these kind of things. So
yeah,
not sure if it's the right moment to do it, but yeah.
Scope, what I learned through all of these things with a house is there's no
good time
moment. No good time. Just go for it, because regardless of what you do, it's gonna be still a good investment. As real estate, either that it's gonna be stabilized or it goes up. It never goes down. It just doesn't. For multiple reasons. Nowadays, it's like if you see the American way, like with the houses and everything going up. If it happens in America, it's gonna eventually happen everywhere. It's how it works. Okay? And the issue is that economy. Because global economy, there will always have problems with wars and everything. There will always be problems with the lack of money. There will be more immigrants coming to Europe. That's another thing. If you think like, oh, we're actually going down on population, that's not true, because even though we are on our own countries, our own population, people will join more. So on us, and because of that, it goes up, rising. It just never stops. It's a nice investment to at least to combat the inflation, So for me, it's a good way to just, instead of like saving the money on the bank, you're not actually saving it. You're actually putting it little by little. You just put it on a real estate asset, in order for you to actually at least freeze your money. Because even if you wait like 10 years, it's stabilized for 10 years, it just goes up again. It's like a roller coaster. It can be a roller coaster. Right now we're still high. We don't know when we actually gonna go fall down, but it still go up. It still will go up. Because it's inflation. It never stops. Simple as that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the amount of money you make from work doesn't seem to keep up with inflation, though, which is
Exactly.
really
Especially in Portugal, it is impossible. It is literally impossible. I'm just unfortunate for having some spare for my family, and I'm the only child. That is the only reason. Or either that, or either I have to find a job in the overseas, which is another thing that it's another objective of mine, is that once I have my home, I'm gonna focus on making more of my portfolio and making I'm starting gonna have like study code interviews, because I want to find a job out of my country, but around the northern European countries. But the rule is I want to be full remote. Not that doesn't mean that I don't go there. I'm fine like with the thing about like staying there for 1 year, which makes sense in my opinion, because or a couple of months, doesn't matter what company wants, but mainly to meet the team, getting used to the working there, the environment and everything,
company culture.
But then I'd rather stay in my own country, basically, because I can ask low salary, because for them, even if it's low salary, for us Portuguese, huge, freaking huge. So yeah.
Well, that's actually funny, because maybe something to discuss after the podcast as well. Because the company that I work at has a division, or like a department, I guess, a side that is in Portugal. Stayed in Portugal. We have Portuguese employees, and the thing is, they do get paid according to like Portuguese standards, not to our standards, which it's kind of shitty, but it makes sense. So probably according to actual Portuguese, if you compare it to other markets, then it might be more. But if you compare it to our current situation of salary in the Netherlands or in Belgium, then it's going to be way less. So for us, it's cheaper to have people there, but you would probably be better off moving here, or at least getting the job here, because you get paid more. But then, of course, cost of living might be more, and all these kind of things. But having something that's completely remote, that's going to be quite difficult. Well, in IT, it's doable, but it depends on the job. I would say if you work somewhere for long enough, or they trust you enough, or you've built a reputation, you could probably get away with it. I have one colleague of mine that goes on vacation, it seems like every couple of weeks, and then he's just gone. He just goes to like Asia, he goes to like America now. It's like,
but
all over the place.
I don't have to do that. It's fine if they have to summon me for a couple of weeks or something. It's completely fine. Mm-hmm. But what he's saying, basically, I don't want that type of like going to the standards of Portugal salary, because might as well just work in Portugal if that's the case, right? The thing is,
exactly,
I don't mind work on a low average, on below like average salary on their country, but it needs to be towards their country. Like they pay less, but another way, like they find someone that they can do a job of someone that they could actually do. They had to pay more, but the only countermeasure, like the only disadvantage, I guess, it would be that person is full remote, unless with some exceptions here and there that I will go visit. Mm-hmm. I'm fine with that, but no, I'm not going to be fine with just salary with Portugal, because if that's the case, I'm fine where I am, right? And like, what's the point for me leaving my country if I'm already with a nice salary?
But I think it is like average salary here, or like they will be paying lower than that person should be paid here if they would be working here. But I think it's higher than what they would be paying in Portugal, because we just get a worker, we get someone that works there. They get relatively cheap housing over there, of course, and they can work remote for a lot. Or we have I don't know if we have customers in Portugal, but that's basically how to do it. We still get an employee. We don't have to pay him as much. He can do as much as someone that would work here, but we can just pay him less, and we get the same work done. So I'm not sure if there's more companies that do something like that.
If it's higher than average on Portugal, it is fun for me. Like I don't intend to be like rich or something. Like I just want a nice,
comfy life
salary that at least a comfortable salary that actually fights over the amount of bullshit that's going on with the prices of real estate. Because that's the mainly issue with our country. It's real estate. If I had like a full nice house with everything paid already, I would probably be very comfortable, because here cost of living is usually way cheaper comparing to the rest of Europe, but still, like,
but that depends on your salary, right? So the salary of
exactly.
a Portuguese,
but then again,
in comparison,
yeah.
so if you compare the Portuguese salary with like the cost of living, then it's like, okay, that's pretty expensive. If you get a salary from a different country with the same cost of living in Portugal, then you would actually be better off, I would say, but I'm not sure.
Yes, that is true. That is true. But then again, I like to live in Portugal for multiple reasons. I mean, I like the weather.
Family.
I have family as well. I like the the food and everything. But I still want to visit other countries. That's the thing. Even if it's my current goal right now, that doesn't mean that I find like someone that I really connect with, and I don't mind like visiting them, and start knowing them and stuff like that. And I think to myself, oh, I'm probably gonna want to live here. Imagine if I find someone, I don't know, on Belgium or Netherlands or whatever, like if I find someone there, I'm like, okay, this I want to live with person and stuff like that, and I don't mind moving place if that's the case. Like for me, it's just the fact that I don't have anybody right now, so I might as well just prefer to live with next to my family, I guess, in a way, but I wouldn't mind to be on another country. The thing is that I want to travel. I want to experience more stuff, but I'm still like fighting over my current professional and personal life, towards the company, like house, a better job. And once I have those, I can actually go explore and see things about myself more.
Yeah, exactly. And the hard thing is, like, especially if you buy, well, it's not really difficult to sell a house, but it's like some extra steps that get involved when you need to sell it. So for example, you get into a relationship and the girl's like, no, actually, or she lives in a different country, or she wants to move to a different country. Then it's like, oh, well, then I have to sell this house, to buy a house there, maybe because the cost of living there is higher. So the house costs even more, and you get in all these kind of troubles. So this may be also something to take into consideration.
And then we get divorced, and then we go back to zero ground. And it is, this is why.
I don't even go to the freaking divorce. That's just
that's just
a giant shit show of its own.
No.
That's just a giant shit show of its own. Divorces.
Yeah, this is the reason that I like to, to be single. The fact that you can enjoy,
can do whatever you want,
whoever you want to be with at any time, without feeling like any kind of contract or whatever, or thing that you need to hang out with that person because they're their partner. I I want a soulmate. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm looking for that. But it's on other way. It's nice to be in my country, knowing that I have a lot of online friends that they can just come visit me, having a good time. I can just show Portugal to them, which is a really nice country to visit for sure. So for me, it's an amazing thing. So yeah, I think I mean, it depends. Like, I don't want to make really long terms because everything can change in a span of 2 years or so. So for now, I just want to work on goals that are more like medium to short, even though they were long before. But I'm getting close, and once I'm reached there, I'll think about it when I reach there. I'm like not gonna think more afterwards.
Okay, yeah, that seems like a fair goals to have. All right, well, I think that John has talked quite a bit. Arch, well, you said you were having a short one on this, so I'm going to give you the torch anyhow. So what are your goals, short-term, long-term, mid-term, whatever you want? Any term.
Long-term, I pretty much don't have any, in all honesty. Not going to lie. Honestly, I mainly just live day to day, to be fair. I don't really have any goals per se. I just live.
So what makes you get up in the morning? Well, if you get up, it's like, okay, this is the reason why I'm getting up, or every day.
Well, what's the reason I get up every day? Just to enjoy myself, to enjoy life, to have as good a day as I can and not feel like, and I guess maybe to distract myself from negative
things happening
thoughts.
In the world. Yeah.
Not even so much to the fucking, not even just so much the stuff that's happening in the world. I just more mean like just invasive thoughts, just to try to distract myself from those, which have a tendency to get very negative at times if I'm not careful or I lose control.
Mhm.
And my day can get very shitty very fast. So I try to avoid that as much as I can
Yeah, so I guess
by doing things I like doing.
Yeah, I guess you're talking about something similar. That's something that I have, which is, and there's a saying for this, which is idle hands are devil's playground, which basically means if you don't get occupied or distracted by anything, then, those intrusive thoughts come in, fucking demons come out, and then you'll get depressed or whatever. Now, not literally, but these kind of things can happen. You have to keep something you have to work towards or something to distract yourself with to not get into that kind of state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, the worst time, or the most vulnerable time, I guess you could say, is when I'm trying to sleep due to, the way I sleep. So, because I feel like I've explained this to you and to John before, right? Like the way I fall asleep, or like I have prerequisites.
Does this include drinking? Because I'm not sure.
What?
I remember something. Something body pillow something.
No,
I'm kidding.
No.
I don't think I know.
For me to sleep, I need complete darkness, complete silence, and I need to have cleared my mind of all thoughts.
Or you get drunk.
I mean, yeah, that too.
Oh, that helps. Yeah.
That works as well. But then again, to be fair, even if I'm drunk, I do still need to clear my thoughts. It's just that me being drunk sometimes either makes it a little easier or makes it a little harder because alcohol. Not much you can say about that
to your room, I guess.
Speaking of alcohol.
Yep, it's in the morning, and this guy is already drinking.
I'm just drinking something.
Yeah, yep. Do you not think you have like insomnia or something, Arch? Like, have you checked on it?
No. I don't have insomnia. I don't have trouble sleeping. Like I said, I can fall if the prerequisites are met. I can fall. Yeah, I can fall asleep within like 2 minutes.
2 minutes? Holy moly!
Well, that's actually very fast.
I wish I could say the same thing. It takes me more.
I can fall asleep very
John.
quickly.
We just
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it takes more than 2 minutes.
Well, not last time I checked.
No, listen. The last time it took only I don't know, just gently 10, 15 seconds. But I swear, it got upgraded. I think it took me a while. I don't know.
No, if it takes longer, it didn't get upgraded. It got downgraded.
Listen, you're not helping.
But yeah, I don't have insomnia. I don't have trouble sleeping because I can sleep just fine. It's just that I have prerequisites that if I meet them, I can fall asleep very quickly. If I don't, it takes longer.
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, I think I don't have any trouble. Yeah. Well, as of, I don't know, like half a year now, I don't really have any trouble sleeping because I just fall asleep at times where I think I wouldn't even be falling asleep. Mm-hmm. Like trying to watch a show or like a movie. I just sit on the couch. It's like, hey, it's pretty comfortable, let's just fucking lay down and just get a blanket and a pillow. And it's like, yeah, and then I'm fucking out. It's like,
I mean, that's everybody, to be fair.
Yeah, it just, I guess when you get older or, have a lot of things on your mind. Then...
What do you mean get older? It doesn't matter what age you are. You literally die if you...
This didn't happen when I was younger. What the fuck you mean? I would be watching shows until like 2 a.m.
If you remember when you're at school and you're watching like that boring math thing or Portuguese or whatever, or like language, whatever, and they're talking about like this normal thing. And if you do
language or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're just looking at the freaking clock to see if when it goes off and like, and you just fall off.
Wasn't me.
What age it is?
Wasn't me.
Nah, I've personally never had that issue.
Don't tell me
if I want to go to sleep,
nope.
Oh God, Scope! Don't tell me you're the one of the guys that teacher, please, you forgot about saying that we had homework yesterday, yeah?
No,
you're not one of those, right?
Although, no. I am not. I am the one that's actually trying to keep the class engage John by being like the class clown and asking sometimes questions or making funny remarks. No. I make like funny remarks during class to make people laugh, to keep it a bit more engaging, because I do notice that like, oh, the class is like fucking dying. I'm dying myself. I have to make a funny remark or do something to make people laugh, because that's the better way to keep people engaged.
In your class.
There you go. Start interviewing the person next to me. Yeah.
Start thinking, why you're so bored?
Yeah, exactly.
What is the reason for this being so boring?
Yeah, exactly. I could do that.
But
that was not like that. Like I said,
thing,
I try to keep
one
it
thing
down.
though, referring to all of these sleeping. Going back a little bit on the thing that you said about not having a goal.
Mm-hmm.
My experience on that one, I would say like it's fine. I like you should live the life that you want to live and enjoy the life every day, which thing. But if you're having trouble for not having a goal, I guess you shouldn't think as a goal. I think you should think as something that you should implement on everyday thing. Like, oh, today I'm gonna do an extra thing that goes from somewhere.
And or try something
new.
Somewhere,
or try something new, and that something new eventually might become a goal. You know? That's one of the ways.
One of the things you could also look at it is just from like more of like a bodily state. So there's something called a flow state, which is where if you're like very hyper focused on something or doing something that you're really into, you completely lose track of time. You feel like you're like in the zone. You're very comfortable in that position. It's just the right level of engagement and like challenge where you feel like you're doing the right thing at that time. And there are a few things that might cause that for you. So for example, for me, one of the things to get me in a flow state is things like organizing an event and like hosting those kind of events. Like that really makes me happy, or presenting in general. That's also why I like doing this. Now that I'm really in a flow state, although I look back at myself and I'm like, did I really, go all out on that? It's like, if I would do that right now when I was in the moment of watching it, it's like, I don't have that fucking energy. What the fuck am I doing there? It's like, oh, well, I guess I do. But those kind of states of being, you can try and pursue and see like, okay, I want to be in that state as long and as many times as possible, and make that like your goal, like something you want to pursue. So that might not really be something at the moment, or maybe you have something you actually think about right now that is like, oh, I actually really like doing this thing and it makes me feel good and I feel like I've been productive and all these kind of things. Not sure how you guys think about that. Do you have something that brings you in a flow state?
I guess one of the things you can do is just
reading.
Think of a thing that it should be fun for you, but at the same time it's gonna be productive. Those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Try to think of a way of.
I wouldn't say reading's productive, but
it is. What do you mean?
It's something I do.
What do you mean it's not productive? Reading, it's productive.
It is productive.
I mean, it depends what you're reading. It depends what you're reading, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Exactly. And when you're reading that, you're not exactly being productive, but you are at least making yourself happy if the story's good.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to trick your brain to think something is funny. Because at the beginning,
I find stupid funny.
Yeah, at the beginning you don't think it's funny, but you might find it fun. Because the problem nowadays, usually with people that has problems with initiating everything, is because you're always gonna be a noob. Let's put it that way. You're always gonna feel like you don't know anything. You're gonna be overwhelmed with information, and you're not gonna feel like you own the materials that is giving to you. And it's normal. People don't understand it's normal. That's the issue with the internet, basically, because people think that, oh, I need to know this already. You pressure yourself to comparing up with other people, and that's bad. You should take your own pace, your own thing, just, little by little, you're eventually gonna start understanding everything. And when you start connecting the dots, you start having fun with it, are enjoying it, because it's something that you already know to the fullest. But of course, at the beginning, no one gonna know. This is the reason why people don't enjoy the learning new stuff. That is not what they wanted, unless it's like something
like
about
John in language class. Apparently, you don't really like it.
I mean,
don't like learning things?
In a way. Like for example, like for example, when I started learning Japanese, for me it was overwhelming at the beginning. Like I didn't know shit. I felt like a completely donkey learning a language. Like I didn't even like languages in the first place.
Donkey.
So basically, the thing is, I trick myself to think, oh, I'm just gonna learn, man. I just like gonna watch a lot of anime, or just try to know these persons and have an app with a game that plays with it. So I'm having fun sometimes with it, and all of a sudden I get into it. I start to actually speaking with the Japanese, and that's where it clicks. That's where I start enjoying the thing. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time of practice until it clicks. When it clicks, it's over. Like you just enjoy it. It's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. And well, that also, your point also goes back to things like social media and people comparing themselves with other people's highlight reel that they put online. And it's like, oh, look at these good moments that people have. Why am I not having those really nice moments? Like, well, that's people at their best, or, trying to impress others. Like, look at how successful my life is, or the cool places I went to. It's like, if you look at someone's day to day, that's totally not like that. That's like maybe like, a couple days in their entire year that might be like that. But their day to day is going to be very boring and just, doing chores and just doing basic stuff, going get groceries, doing your laundry. I don't know. These kind of things that everyone does, but they kind of get forgotten because of all the glorious things that people praise on social media and get all the likes. That's why I'm not a fan of social media in general, just because people tend to easily compare themselves to other people and then feel depressed or, get a bad feeling. It's like, oh, I should live up to that. It's like, no. It's like, look at yourself from like 2 years ago. It's like, are you doing better or worse than you did 2 years ago? If you are doing worse, why is that? What went wrong? Is it something you can improve? If you did better, then good. You're improving. Keep it up and you'll be better over time. Or you can even step it up, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh,
at least that's my way of...
on that regard, Scope, either we like it or not, it's going to stay. And it's staying forever. It is what it is. The thing is, I think the way to think about this is, and this is the thing that actually annoys me a little bit. I think this should be a matter of education on schools for young people. When they start like knowing the internet and everything, it's like sex education. It's social education.
Yeah.
Meaning that they teach you from the beginning that, hey, you should compare yourself. You don't think like, give examples, give whatever. They need to be educated, because social aspect is never going to leave. It's going to be there. And you're going to see people, oh my God, look at him. Look at how much money he's giving. Oh my God, Mr. Beast just gave 100K for that person. Oh my God, why am I not that lucky? Those kind of things, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Normal. Like, for me, I just live with it. Like I know that it's not every day. I know that's not normal. But I know because I was educated in that way. I went through a lot of things to understand that. For kids, my issue is it's with the kids. And the problem with kids is that they grow up with this.
Oh, yeah.
And they grow up with this false advertisement that they give, oh, you should be a YouTuber that it makes whatever, and you can always be
or a podcaster.
There are like thousands and thousands and thousands or whatever of people that try to be something on Twitch and something on YouTube, and it saddens me that, for example, on Twitch people try to stream and they always have like 5 views, and they tried for even years, every fucking time, and they do it their best, and that's the problem. I think they need to be educated in a way that, hey, it's okay to try it, but don't be obsessed with it. Like, you have to think that it is what it is. Like, you either go for it or not. But if you don't go for it, just jump to another thing. Don't spend your rest of your life and get depressed about it, because people will get depressed really fast with it. And that's the thing that I wish that they educate more people on school, because it's such an important thing that we live on nowadays. And there's nothing like that. There's only sex education. Wow, amazing sex education. Yeah, but I mean, it's not saying that it's not important. Of course, sex education is important, but this is really crucial. I think this part of
we live
on such a digital era. Yeah, we live on like everything is on your face since you're like since 4 years old. You already have a freaking iPad. I mean, this should be.
Yeah, that's very true, isn't it? Yeah. It's pretty crazy that some parents just go out and buy their kid, like Johnson, like their 4-year-old child, like a freaking iPad or something. It's like, what? It's like, that's not a toy, and it's super expensive, and yet you're giving it to such a young child who is more than likely going to break it because that's too young to really understand its value.
But you know what's that mentality? That's the mentality that older people had on us when we started playing with. Things will change. It is what it is. You just need to adapt to it. The thing is, you need to adapt, but think of how you can adapt in a good way. This is why education is important. It is what it is. Kids are going to have like digital things on their face, like from a young age. We didn't have that luxury, of course. My first computer was only when I was 15 years old. But I'm not going to be, oh my God, look at those lucky kids, blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. Because if I think that way, I will think the same way as my father thought when I had a Game Boy for the first time. Like, ooh, look at that lucky kid. At my time, we only play with fucking rocks and kill each other.
I mean, when I was a kid, like freaking, I don't know, 5, 6 years old, I fucking played with marbles. That was the thing.
I've done that.
I mean, it depends on many levels. The thing is,
I know what you mean. Obviously,
just adapt to the reality that exists. Don't look away and look away from the problem. But the problem is like I don't want to go into political stuff here. It's just a thing that the government needs to address.
I don't think we need to get into political stuff, so let's not.
Yeah, I think we get the point. But yeah, I do agree, John, that education on this is very important, and it seems to be lacking for kids nowadays, and parents not really knowing the consequences of like giving their kid an iPad, and it's like, here's your iPad. Daddy is gonna go do something else now that's more enjoyable than trying to parent you instead. So here's your iPad. Go sit in the corner, play your game. I was gonna say Flappy Birds, but oh my God, that makes me feel so fucking old.
But you cannot avoid that scope.
Well, no, you can.
You can never,
because there's some parenting involved in that you need to teach the people that are.
You cannot avoid that in a way because those parents were not educated to learn that in the first place. That's why this is unavoidable. This part is unavoidable because there will be this part because the technology just went so fast that there was no time for people to get used to this. And parents think, oh, there's a toy that you can just shut up for that moment, and there you go. But they don't think in that way because they were never taught when they were younger. That's the thing. Nowadays, those kids, when they become parents, they should have that knowledge how bad it is.
Yeah.
Well,
that's why it's important for them to have the education in the first place. But that's unavoidable. What you're saying, Scott.
But yes, wouldn't you think
people should be more informed?
Yeah, but wouldn't you think that people from our generation that have grown up with this technology, to see the repercussions of it, of using it, what it did when we were younger, or the negative effects of it, that we would be more educated to know, like, okay, when we have children, we need to be wary of the effects of things like social media, having an iPhone or a smartphone, a tablet, being connected to the internet, having these connections of people all around the world, what it can do with a person, and be wary of its effects and try and educate the children in that regard on how to deal with this kind of technology. Because our parents, of course, didn't have any notion of that because technology was new. It was new for everyone. And now we have kind of grown up for it. We've seen the consequences. We know its pitfalls. We could teach that to our next generation, and hopefully they will then adapt in a better way than we have at a time.
That is most definitely true, and I do agree with that. That would be what you would hope would happen.
Of course, wishful thinking.
But unfortunately, there's a lot of really stupid people. So even though we would hope that, of course, that they would teach their kids about internet safety, being careful and all that. Because I think when I was a kid, I think there was like some minimum level of internet safety when I was learning how to use the computer when I was in like when I was...
I'm sorry, there was internet safety when? What kind of internet safety are you talking about?
Yeah, but I said when I was a kid. So we're talking about like freaking Windows 96, something like that.
Zero internet safety, zero.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, like the teachers, I think at the time were like giving out information, telling kids not to like tell random people, information about themselves. So there was that kind of even back then. But of course, just because one school may have done it does not in any way mean that it was common around the country. And obviously, by this point, those same people would be grown up. We would hope that they would actually have taken those words to heart, would have been careful, and would have even, told their own children those very same words. But at least that would be hopefulness of it all, and we would hope that that would be the case. But unfortunately, the reality is, like I said, there's a lot of really fucking stupid people. So they will so either they will disregard the words, not have even paid any levels of attention to them, or they just don't realize how dangerous the internet can be if you're not careful, especially if you're really young, or especially if you're really young, or if you're
nice, very nice.
Yes.
I wanted to put my hands up to say something, and I
you
just
put your entire body up. Yeah. We got it, John. You have something to say. Go for it, John.
For me, it's like, in a sense, yes, I would agree with you. People need to be more educated when it comes to that. They need to know better. Thing is, we live on an age that everything went so freaking fast, and people are so stressed about pressure with work and a lot of things that sometimes they don't have time to handle this. Nowadays, we live on an age that it's very difficult to have time for our kids, let alone having one in the first place. And sometimes you have to understand that there's trouble for them to understand. I don't have time for this. Like the kid is crying, just give him something, whatever, because they're stressful about their life. They're stressful about a lot of stuff. They probably know, but still, like, I do think that because they don't have time and stuff like that, they need to be educated by school for them to right things.
Glass half full, glass half empty.
Yeah, exactly.
There are
very good combination.
People, unfortunately, it is what it is.
That was basically glass half full, glass half empty. That was the
talking about glass.
Well, speaking of now, it's going to go half empty. It's going to get more empty now.
Yeah, it's actually empty. I need to pour again, but it's.
Oh boy. No, I think this is I think it's a nice way to end the podcast. At least from my perspective, one thing I would give to the audience is just, and this is what I'm trying to do, is try and at least lead by example. So if you try and make your people around you aware, if you are living the correct life, it's like, this is also a way how you can live life. This is a way how you can improve or do things a bit differently. And hopefully, yes, of course, people will pick up on it. It's like, oh, maybe I should change my life a bit to be more like that guy or like someone else that is more successful. Even though, like, you shouldn't look up to people, but if someone has a good way of dealing with problems or a good way of dealing with life, then maybe you should learn from it and see if it can make you yourself improve.
Isn't that basically Buddhism?
I don't know.
Buddhism is more about your inner self. It's different. I guess the way to that you want to say, Scope, is that get inspired by people.
Yes.
Just don't look up for them. Get inspired by them. Get inspired by their feats, what they do, and look at yourself and think, okay, I can do this, or I can try to do this.
You can think like what somebody does is amazing, and you can try to aspire to be like them.
Also,
but don't put them on some sort of pedestal, because when you do that, like, you might in your own mind, you might end up absolving them of responsibilities if they ever do anything negative or bad.
Yep.
This is why when I tell you, like, you want to get inspired, usually you want to know the story. Don't think of, oh, this person has everything already, I need to be like him. That's not inspiration. That's just looking up to them I want to be like him. Look at the backside, like the negatives that he went through in order for him to get it. And that be inspired by their feats, like their problems, their issues. You might have different problems. You're going to have different problems.
Of
but
course, everyone
you
has
have
different
acknowledged
problems.
like, oh, this is difficult. I can't, but I just have to think to myself that I can do it. Because one of the big things that I always told me about it when I was young and I managed to overcome is nothing is like if you think that you cannot for some reason put it in your brain and you cannot do it, just think it, fuck it, it will eventually happen. My brain is built into a point that I can do anything, so might as well just push for it, which is happens. I did things that I never thought that I could do it ever, didn't even cross my mind, and I managed to do it. And that's those things, like, because I tried it and I kept doing it and kept doing it. Your brain just goes to the correct path once you keep trying. The secret to everything is just taking the first and move on. That's it. Make it a schedule. Make it small steps at a time. Once you start doing that, eventually it will happen. It's just a matter of time. Don't think about the end point. Just think about step by step. That's my main advice for everyone.
All right. Well, I think those are good words to close off with, because we've gone quite a bit, quite a long time.
Really? I thought it was only 15 minutes, but sure.
It's 3:20.
1 hour.
Holy
and
moly,
40
it's already this
minutes.
time? Oh
Yeah,
my god.
exactly.
Well, that's all, folks.
Yeah.
Can I be on the second episode?
That's all.
No, we can't just add
I
it
have
like
a
that.
lot of
No.
things to teach about. No, I'm kidding.
No.
I don't
So,
care about this.
We are going to be closing off, and yeah, we've been going for quite a while. And I would just like to say or ask the guests, so Arch and John, please give your final thoughts on what you want to say to the audience or what you want to say about the podcast, and then we'll wrap this up. So, Arch, anything you want to say closing off?
Wow.
Or maybe your experience?
Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful morning, whatever time that this is being watched. Just have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourself, and don't try to be too negative about things. Try to look on the bright side of life.
Glass half full. Okay, John, anything else you want to bring in yourself?
Headpats are amazing. Get
Okay, yeah. Okay, maybe we should give you some headpads after this, John, so you can fall asleep. Yes.
No, don't. No. Not falling asleep. Yeah, not falling asleep. No, but on a serious note, like, I mean, I know that I've talked a lot of crap. Usually that I do, but
it's fine.
You know, it's like Arch says, just be more positive about things. It's the reason that we are all always negative about everything. It's because built in our DNA as a survivability feature. But you know, sometimes we have to trick our brains to be a better person. We'll be rewarded with it, as long as you try.
Exactly.
You guys have a nice time.
Yes. So with that, I would like to close the podcast. So for everyone who's listening, thank you for sticking by. I hope to see you also in the next episode. And with that, I'll be closing off. Until next time. Peace out.
Goodbye.
Bye.
6-hour podcast? Is that what I'm hearing? Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to be surprised. That's why I brought whiskey.
Oh, that's the reason.
Dear God, don't fuck.
Oh, boy. Still the awkward placement on the whiskey.
Okay, fine. I'll put it here. Okay.
Okay, just don't.
I mean, it's better than it was last time.
That is true. Yeah.
I'm not going to put it on the bed because it's fucking.
No, last time in VR chat, it was in between my legs.
That's the perfect spot for me. There we go. What we can try is that you don't put music, and I keep talking to you about something while you're doing the thing, you know.
Okay, sure.
To see if it works.
Okay, so I have a topic. So
yeah. So what do you want me to talk about? For example,
so give me a quick rundown of your day. What did you do? What did you do today? Except for fall asleep.
No way.
No fucking.
No way. that was like 2 fucking seconds.
Holy shit.